person? Who is that person? What is weird about that person? How did you tackle that particular weirdness of that person? And what is your experience, because of this weirdness, that is how far it has affected you even today? Could you speak on it for 2.5 to 3 minutes?
Thank you for the topic. I have hardly faced any weird people around me in my life, and weirdness, it depends on person to person how we perceive it, in what way they are weird. It's all based on the character of a person and the personality they have that could make us feel that they are weird. But the one such incident I could recall is from my college, where I was studying in a medical school. And I had a friend, I had a senior who was 3 to 4 years senior to me in my medical college, named by Ashna. She was in her 5th year of medical school, and I was in my first year of medical school. She was quite famous for bullying and ragging all of us, all the juniors. So one such incident also which took place with me, that I was ragged in a medical college by trimming my hair in front of her, and she would cut my hair. So she was very much famous for screaming and being very angry at people, and very bossy by saying, and she would demand us to do certain work of her, and do certain things she would ask us. So I was, I was having a lot of fear, and I was scared of her. And I used to try to avoid her as much as possible in the college. But slowly, later and later, when it started affecting me too much, because I wouldn't go the same road if she would come. I wouldn't walk in the same corridor if she's walking by. So I went and informed to the higher medical authorities that we are being affected by it. So they took an action, and then I realized that what I had done had helped a lot of people around me. And I learned a big lesson from it, that any kind of bullying or any kind of trauma being given to you, we should not stay behind and tolerate it. We should report it. So this is one particular weird person I have met, because she used to get pleasure out of hurting somebody. So this is how I have tackled also the situation.
Okay, very good. We'll move on to the third part of discussion based on the weirdness. I would like to ask you a few more questions as a follow-up to get a better information through you. So do you call that weird behavior is because of some kind of psychotic disorder?
No, I don't agree, because if I have to say it's a psychotic disorder, what she had, it's psychosis comes in a different form. This was plain attainment of superiority complex, and she wanted to hurt people to gain pleasure out of it, just to show her superiority.
See, anyone who is into, any kind of extraordinary activities or sadistic pleasures, right, harassing others or bullying and torturing and enjoying that knowingly or unknowingly, that is called a psychotic disorder. That weird behavior, it could be a small behavior to a serious behavior. Weirdness, which means just something strange, right, and which cannot be accepted by one and all. Public behavior, certain things you have to oblige. And if a person is unable to oblige to that, it could be even smoking on public place. It is weirdness. Drinking and screaming and bullying people on road and misbehaving, it is weirdness. Rape is weirdness. Any kind of bullying, torture, harassment, for sadistic pleasure, it is weirdness. And the level of weirdness, it varies, from psychological disorder to criminal atrocities. It is. That's all. Okay. So it is a kind of a psychological disorder, right from small weirdness to big weirdness. Anything that is weird. Weird is something strange, or quite extraordinary, not accepted by everyone, even in the family, and
Yes.
especially public behavior, public places. You must know how to behave. If you cannot, as you said, you cannot be bossy or you cannot rule the roost. Then the person is having some, it is complex inferiority or superiority complex. Some that is weird behavior. Weird behavior. It is related to the psychology. Okay, it is
Okay.
a kind of psychological disorder. Well, we'll move on to the next question. What kind of public weirdness in the public places, weirdness of people that you had come across, and how did you react for that?
Well, this just like I have mentioned before, I've not faced much of the proper weird people around me. But yes, I have seen people giving looks, strange looks, or the strange laughing or smiling of people when somebody is walking on the road, and strange. I have met one particular person who was making strange noises on the road, like coughing and barking, but it is not related to the disease. So that weirdness is based on how we each perceive it. For me, it could be weird, and for somebody, it could not be. So I
No,
haven't met.
whatever you said, it is weird to one and all. Maybe
Yes.
you would not have experienced it on your own, but weird behavior of people in the public places, yes, whatever you told, littering on road and, they sit on road, they bully people, they stare continuously,
Hmm.
women walk on, and some people get to the extent of grabbing from, a woman from behind and getting some sexual pleasure on road, abusing a child or woman on road, and these are all weird behavior. Anything, some without the knowledge of the particular person for sensual or sadistic pleasure. If anyone is doing anything that is weird activity, so
Okay,
it
that
is
was
not
fun.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, the question is not that whether you experience and did you come across that kind of weirdness. Generally, what kind of weird public behaviors you could name out? Well, what is very difficult for you to tackle, public weirdness or weirdness of your family members? If anyone is weird in your family, which is very difficult for you to tackle or handle it?
Oh, well, obviously, weirdness in my family would be very difficult to tackle because whatever the public weirdness is, it doesn't actually matter to me. At least in my opinion, it doesn't matter to me because everybody has a different reasons behind their lives and all. But if it is my family and there is somebody who's having a strange kind of behavior, I would like to get into saving him from why he's doing it and trying to figure out a way to stop him or her from doing it. So that
Yeah,
would affect
obviously.
me.
Yeah, obviously, if anything happens to our, kith and kin, our near and dear, that would have a drastic impact on our personal life. Then the public, it is happening to a common man in the public place. So weird
Okay.
behavior of any of the family member, because we are also affected by it, and emotionally we are attached to that, and we want that person, to be recognized and to be, saved from such kind of attitude. So that will really have an impact. Wonderful.
Okay.
The last question to you is: did anyone pointed at you that what is your behavior or attitude, mannerism? This is weird. You have to change.
Well, obviously, yes. Not from the public, but from my own parents and own my family. If I do any mistake, like if I get angry at somebody or if I scream at somebody, so that time, out of the blue, if I get angry, so that time my parents have advised me not to cool your temper and not to be so angry all the time. So this is one advice I have got from my near family.
So what's the reason for your short temperness?
Well, if I'm a very organized person, and if I don't find something, if something is inorganized in my life, and I'm little apt about time, so if somebody comes late, or so I get a little angry at that time. So that's when my parents had advised me not to get angry.
Yeah, being perfect is also a kind of a weird behavior, right?
Yeah,
So
I
many
have
people think
OCD.
OCD, that is
Mm,
obsessive, yes, obsessive compulsive disorder, right? So
yeah,
everything should be kept in the place, and so that is one of the weirdness, yes. Because it's nobody can be perfect. Even we make mistake at time, but once you
yes,
get into that attitude, it is very difficult for you to come out of it. So that is maybe identified by your family members as something weird. Accepting it and speaking it openly, that's great of you. Well, wonderful. Last question you have spoken well. The other three questions in the part three, little more better you could have answered, because
mm-hmm.
that's the reason I interfered. Because when you say someone was continuously looking at you, so you can go for the vocabulary stare, like, and
Yeah, yeah,
and public behavior in the weird behavior, stalking, eve teasing, bullying, and smoking, and drinking. These are all in the public place. Whichever is affecting other person, it is a weird behavior. Littering, the people they eat something spit on road. So these are all weird behavior. And even if you say, if you go to any hotel or restaurant, some people has got the habit of munching very loudly,
yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah, and these are all weird behavior. And even at home, they just kill the food. They don't know how to eat. The table manners, the basic etiquette people